Okay, so good afternoon, class. So today we're going to be going over the percent for the unknown whole. And could somebody please look at our problem of the day and tell me why would I have chosen 0.70 or 0.35? Liam, could you do it?
Thank you, Mr. Willis. You chose 0.70 because it's a percentage.
Yes. If you have 0.70, that's the equivalent of what? Go ahead, sir. 70%, absolutely. So we're working with percentages. So what I want to do is I want to reach out to some prior knowledge of yours, and you know that 0.70 is equivalent to 70%. So we are going to have 0.70 and multiply it by 150. Notice I put it offset here because we can just go 0 there. And then 790. 7 times 5 is 35. And then 7 times 1 is 7 plus 3 is 10. So 0.70 times 150 comes out to be 105. Now, who came up with the answer for number 2? Who has the answer for number 2 in your problem of the day? Yes, sir. What did you come up with for your answer for problem of the day? For number 2. You came up with 121. All right, well, let's see if you're correct. Let's go 0.35. That's 35% of 300. 0, 0, 5, 1, 0, 0, 9, 0, 0, 5, 0, 1, and 2 decimals. What was your answer?
1.
Yeah, you're a little bit off, but that was a good try. It was a good try. What is our answer?
105.
105, the same as that over there. 105. All right. So everyone look at similarities. 150 and 300. What can you look at 150 and 300? What am I wanting you to look at? What?
Things both 150. No, 300 is half of 150 is half of 300.
It's half of 300, yes. And what do we know about 0.70 and 0.35?
0.35 is half of 70.
They're half and half. So these are equivalent. That's why they end up both at 105. The answer is both at 105. So today we will solve for the unknown whole in a percentage word problem. So we're going to do our word problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to model for you. So please put your pencils down and I will model the problem for you. The question: solve for the unknown whole using a percent bar. Now we've done percent bars before and we're going to do an unknown whole, which means we have 0 and we have 100%, but we are looking for that number there because we don't know what it is. So Ashley spends 40% of her money she receives. She spends $160. How much money did she receive in total? So we have 40%, $160. So let's circle those. Those are our math words, our math numbers. The question is how much money did she receive in total? That's what we're trying to answer. Now, we have 0 here and 100% there. We do not know what the total is. 40%. Do you remember when we think back, when we're dealing with 25, 50, 75%, what are we going to divide the 100% by? Go ahead, Catherine.
By 4.
By 4. Because remember, $1.25 is a quarter of the dollar. So 25, 50, 75 would be dividing by 4. But if we have 20, 40, 60, 80, what are we going to divide 100 by? Yes, ma'am.
10.
Well, we could do it by 10, but we're going to do it by a smaller number than that.
80.
80. No. Good try. We just wrote this down. Yes.
5.
Divided by 5. 20, 40, 60, 80. That's dividing by 5 because 100 divided by 5 is 20. Therefore, we divide by 5. We have 20, 40, 60, and 80. Now here it says Ashley spends 40% of her money. And then it also said she spent 160. That means 40% equals $160 because she spent 40 and it was 160. So at 40%, we're going to circle that one right there. So that's how much she spent, was 40%, $160. Now I want you to look at this area here, 1, and this area here, 2. So 40% was 160, half of that is 20%. So what is half of 160?
80.
80. So we wrote 80 here. Now we can step count all the way up to 100. 80, 160, 160 plus 80 is 240, 240 plus 80 is 320, and 320 plus 80 is
400.
400. So the answer would be 400. There's a quicker way of doing that though. This is separated into 5 pieces, right? And one piece is 80. How could we quickly get the answer?
80 was equals 80 times 5.
80 times 5. If we divided 100 by 5 to get there, and we had that, we can multiply by 5 at the top, and we come up with 400. So she earned $400. She spent 160 or 40% of her money. Our next one. Solve for the unknown whole. 60% is 25% of what number? 25%. Anybody want to take a guess at what we will do first with the 100? Yes, ma'am. Into 4 pieces, 25%. Remember, dollar is 100, quarter is 25, 25%. So we divide the 100 by 4 and we come up with 25, 50, and 75. Very good. Now, what do we know? We know that 60 is 25%. So where do I put 60 up here on the board? Somebody else. Somebody else get over. Yes, sir. We're at about 25. So here it is. 60 is 25%. But we want to know the whole number. What do we do to get the whole number? What are 2 ways that we could get the whole number? Give me one way. We can multiply 60 by 4 since we divided by 4 and we can come up with the number. What's another way that we could come up with the whole number? Liam.
120 is half of the last number, so that's like 80.
Right, but we haven't gotten to 120 yet. Yes, sir.
When you say this keep on adding it up to you.
Step count. We added 60 plus 60, 120. 120 plus 60, 180. 180 plus 60, 240. Outstanding, 240. All right, turn your page to your guided instruction that you glued in your notebook. Now we have our blank percent bar here, and we need to fill that in. So we're looking for a whole number. What's the one thing we can do on any problem when we're using the percent bar?
Suppose at the beginning add the 0, then towards the end add the 100%.
And with 100. And since right now we're not going over 100%, later we'll be going to 125% or 150%. But right now we're just doing 100%. So we start with 0 and 100. Let's read the question. Lincoln School will send 8 students, which is 10% of its 6th grade class to the district math competition. What is the total number? So we're looking for the whole number. We're looking for this. The total number of Lincoln's 6th grade class. So we read the problem, and I have 2 numbers. I got 8 and I have 10. How many percent is that? 10?
10%.
So how would we get 10% out of the 100? What would we do? Yes, sir.
Divide the 100 by 10.
Divide the 100 by 10. By dividing the 100 by 10, what do we end up with? 10, 20, 30, 40, right? So as usual, I'll do my 50 first to give myself a reference. 60, 70, 80, 90, 40, 30, 20, 10. Here's our 10%. And we know 8 students, which is 10%. Therefore, at 10%, I'm gonna put an 8. Do I need to step count?
No, you can always look for.
If I have 10% is 8, well, 10% times what equals 100%? 10 times 10 times 10 equals 100%, right? Well, if I multiply that by 10 to get to the end, multiply this by 10, what would I get? 8 times 10 is?
80.
Got this. 80. There it is, 80. Now what I would like you to do, I've already done this one. I'm going to give you 1 minute. I want you to do question number 2. Now, before we start, I want you to look at the numbers. Especially that percentage, and that's going to tell you what you need to do with that percent bar. 1 minute. Go. You're doing it on your own, and then we're going to have somebody come off the board. The next 2 problems, I'm going to have you work with partners. Okay. Okay, great question. Somebody asked, do we have to finish the top? Do we have to put all the, if you have the answer, you can stop. You can stop. Finishing it all the way, okay, finishing it all the way, that would actually give you a little more practice as far as your step counting. And that's what I really would like you to do, is to practice writing those numbers down. Okay, so who would like to come up and give me the answer to number 2? Come on up. Outstanding. Missing something. Still missing something. Now, explain your answer to the class.
I got 50 because since it says 50%, I mean 25 equals 50%, so I could just times 25 by 2 and then we get 50.
Because 50 times 2 is
And it's only like
100%. Very good. Give him a round of applause. Good job. Okay, so problem number 3. Problem number 3. Let's take a look at this one. See if there's any thing that will throw us for a loop. A singer performs 15 songs at their winter concert, which is 20% of their total song catalog. How many songs does the singer have in their catalog? All right, we've read the problem. Let's circle the numbers that we're going to be dealing with. 15 and 20. I want to draw your attention to that. That is our question. How many songs total are in his catalog? 1 minute. Begin. You may work with your partner, work with your neighbor. Make sure that you both have the same answer. When you're done, you can put your pencil down. Did you get the yeah. Okay, so each one's make a list of which ones you're missing. I can get those. Okay. In the meantime, I can do that. Okay, so I already got somebody who volunteered who really wants to come up and do the problem. So, come on up, Mr. Sotelo.
Oh, okay.
Now explain it to the class as you go.
Okay, so first you wanna put 0. 0. Then you wanna mark the middle.
Okay, so explain what you did to the class.
Um.
Would you like to phone a friend?
Yeah.
All right, Mateo. Come on up and help him out. I feel like Regis Philbin from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Is that your final answer? You guys, too young to know him. All right, you have it? I gotta say, you might want your notebook. Very interesting. Okay, can I throw you a lifeline? All right, let me show you. He got the right answer and he's on the right track. Give him a round of applause. Good. Very good. Very good. All right. So, in looking at this, can I ask you a question? What might he have done differently with this problem? Now look at the number of songs, 15. And 15 is what percent of his catalog? 20. So what would we divide by?
5.
Divide 100 by 5. Instead of going to the 10, divide by 5 and you'll have your 20, 40, 60, 80, and then 100. 20 is here, 15 is there. I'll go ahead and put my 40, 60, and 80 because I want to have it complete. Now, I could step count. I could go 15, 30, 45. I could do it that way. Or if I divided 100 by 5 to get the 20, I could multiply 15 by 5 to get the full. 5 times 15 is
75.
75. You got the right answer and you were on the right track. Very nicely done. Give him another round of applause. Now, give his lifeline a round of applause also. They both came up with work. Good job. All right. Last one. Last one for our guided instruction. Okay. 36 is 75% of what number? Who wants to come up and do it right away right now? All right, Lawrence, come on up. I'll have you do it. Okay, now explain to the class how you came up with that setup.
Well,
Okay, the first thing you should do is you should set up your percentage. So what did you divide your percentage by to get to those marks put down? You divided 100 by 4, so now you got 25, 50, and 75. Now, it says there that $36 is 75%. What number? So you have 36 here. Very good. Now, how did you find out it was 12? 12 times 3, or you have the 36. 36 divided by 3 gave you your. And then did you step count or did you multiply to get to the end? You multiplied by? No, you multiplied by 4, right? And you got the 48. Anybody else get 48 as their answer? I think you got the right answer. Good job. Fantastic. All right. So as you see, we can find the whole, whether we have a percentage, we have a number, we can step count, we can multiply. But now we're going to look at one more way to do this. And this is the proportion method. So I'm going to back up and we're going to go back to number 1. We're going to try one more method to do this. Because on the test, when you have to give that answer, if it asks for a percentage bar, you have to make a percentage bar. But it's always good to have another way of doing the problem to double check your answer. Therefore, Lincoln School sent 8 students, which is 10% of their 6th grade to the district competition. What is the total number of Lincoln's 6th grade class? I want everybody in your notes to write the following. Part over the whole equals the percent over 100, because 100 is the whole. Now notice the whole number is 100%. The part will be a percentage. You notice their part and percentage are on the top, whole and 100 are on the bottom. There will always be the 100 there. Now, we have 2 things. They're going to send 8 students. They're asking for how many students total. So 8 is the part, right? So we're going to write 8. And we're looking for the number of students. Let's use X as the variable. The percentage is 10. And put that over 100. Everyone should have that written down. Now with this step, rule number 1, multiply the diagonal numbers. You have 3 numbers. You have 8, 10, and 100. The 8 and the 100 are diagonal to each other. So you're going to multiply the 8 times 100. And that's going to give you 8 times 100. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 2 zeros. It's going to give you 800.
800 divided by.
Now, step 2, you divide by the remaining number of the 3. And the only remaining number, if you use the 8 and the 100, you're going to divide it by 10. 10 can't go into 8, but 10 can go into 80 8 times. 10 times 8 is 80. That leaves you 0. Bring the 0 down, 0. And your answer is 80. And our answer when we did the percent bar was 80. So, I'm going to put you on your own. Your exit ticket today to get out of class is I want you to do problem number 2, problem number 3, and problem number 4 using the proportion method. Using this as a guide, part, whole, percent over 100, and then you multiply the diagonal and then divide by the last number. Any questions?
Let's do it.
Okay, please get to work on that. Thank you. Your exit ticket you'll show at the door will be those 3. You have to attempt them. Once you have it done, consult with your neighbor, confer, and see if you are in agreement with your answers on how to do it. All right, get to work. Thank you.
Let's see.